great investor and philanthropist Warren Buffett once explained his huge amounts of donations by saying that it was only by luck that he was born into the correct environment that allowed him to become wealthy, so it was only natural to give back. Clearly, Mr. Buffett's childhood was very important in his life, but how much does one's childhood really affect his or her life? The answer is a lot. In a recent survey conducted on SurveyMonkey, 24 out of 31 questions answer that one's childhood is very important to his or her life. Recent studies by neurological institutions have also shown that adversity during one's childhood has huge effects on them later in life. So, to what extent can we control our childhood? If you're watching this video, you probably live in a middle-class area with decent primary and secondary education, a competent police force, and average to high standards of living. However, it is not like this for everyone. According to UN.org and UNICEF, 70% of all people live in high-crime areas, 11% do not have access to clean water, 17% do not receive any formal education, and 30% live in areas with poor female rights. One's location is very important because it decides what types of education and other opportunities are available, and for many, where they will live for the rest of their lives. In a survey, 23 out of 31 surveyed agreed that location as a child plays a large or very large role in one's life as an adult. However, can we control where we are? 30 out of 31 say that we have little or no control over where we live as a child. Parents are considered one of the largest factors that affect a child. Research has shown that parents are instrumental in the development of their child because they work more closely with their child than any other adults. They know their children better than anyone else and also are more likely to teach their children than any others. In a survey, 18 out of 31 agree that parents play a large or very large role in one's childhood. But, can we control who our parents are? The answer is no, it is only luck. How much does one's social class as a child affect him or her as an adult? 28 said that it played a very large or large role. In the novel A Glass Menagerie by Tennessee Williams, the protagonist, Tom Wingfield, is greatly affected by his family's low social class. Because the family has little money, Tom must work long hours at a boring job to support his crippled sister and mother. This makes him frustrated and depressed, and leads him to leave the house in search of adventure elsewhere. This is in contrast to The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini, where the protagonist, Amir, is born into a wealthy family in Afghanistan. When the government is overthrown by a violent coup, it is this wealth that allows him and his father to escape to the safety of America, while Hassan, who is born into a poor social class, is forced to stay. But can we control what social class we are as children? No. Most people are born into the social class of their parents and remain there until they start working. Studies have shown that better education on average leads to a happier overall life. In a recent survey, 29 out of 31 agreed that a child's education has large or very large effects on his or her life as an adult. But can we control education? The answer is, to a certain extent. Some countries have education that is public until grade 12. However, in many countries, school is no longer available at a young age. In the US, public education is free until grade 12, and many go on to obtain a higher education. However, throughout the world, many children do not receive an adequate education, and in many cases higher education is not even an option. So as children, we have no control over where we were born, we have no control over who our parents are, we have no control over our social class, and we have limited control over our education. Therefore, we have limited control over our childhood, and because of the massive impact our childhoods have on our adult lives, we have a limited control over our own lives.